All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Noah Weimer.
I'm Macy Lane.
I'm Nick Joe.
I'm Shane.
I'm Isaiah.
I'm Jackson.
And today we're going to go over our draft presentation for our topic for the research report that we're doing, and that is, the topic that we have is media. So I want to go over a brief outline with you guys, is we're going to briefly go over the introduction, the purpose of how we found our research, then we'll go over the research question itself, then we'll break into the survey plan design, stable plan design, similar to the prior presentations in today's course. So as I said before, our topic is media. Now as a group, when devising a research plan for our research study, instantly our minds went to cell phone use and social media. And why did that happen? Well, obviously, as you guys all know, device use is at an all-time high, social media use is at an all-time high. We live in a society where we have access to data, information, content from all over the world, whenever we want it, and essentially, however we want it. We really all we have to do is take out your phone, look up something, and there it is, boom, content, media, in your face, instantaneously. Now it's hard to imagine because we've grown up with this, but think about 20, 25 years ago, when you were trying to find media, it was through a broadcast, a TV or a radio station. You had to choose what you're listening to and how you're listening to it. Go out and find that. In today's age, we have cell phones. Media is thrown in our face whether we want it or not. It's just there. And as society is so dependable on this device use, we're kind of subjugated to whether or not they have positive effects on us, all this media consumption, or negative. And so when we're formulating the purpose of our research, we realized that this uptick in media use and social media, etc., it has to be playing some sort of part on us as college students because, like I said before, it's brand new. We're essentially test bunnies. It really wasn't that long ago where cell phones didn't even exist. So we live in a brand new world. We wanted to analyze how that's changing. So some things that kind of pointed out to us in our initial research as to why it kind of really fueled the passion behind our question was some statistics that we found. So since 2011 to 2021, screen time use on average for American population has increased by 3 to 4 hours in just that 10-year window. So in 2011, the average use was about an hour and 45 minutes. Today, it's 4 to 5 hours, 5 to 6 hours. So a significant increase just from 10 years ago. Ironically enough, in 2009 is when Facebook became the most popular social media brand in the world. And when you saw that happen is when you really started to see the different media outlets kind of spiral from there. So Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, and now you see just almost everything is personalized to some sort of social media account. So this statistic right here was very revealing to us is obviously this major uptick in media use or screen time use clearly has to be playing a role in our daily lives, whether it's positive or not, and especially for college students given the fact that we have our phones, laptops, etc. in class with us at all times. So this kind of landscape in society, the digital age we live in, is kind of what prompted us to really analyze how the uptick in media use and device use is impacting, who it's impacting, and what exactly is it affecting. So based off that, I'm going to have Jackson lead into the research question, which is going to kind of focus our, ideas.
All right, so our research question is, how has media consumption negatively affected students' mental health and academic performance? So to elaborate on what Noah was saying, one thing that this generation of students have that previous generations didn't have are smartphones. And smartphones have sort of streamlined the way media is delivered and consumed. Pretty much anyone at any time can pull out a cell phone and scroll through their favorite media sources for hours. And this, of course, has led to an increase in screen time and an increase in media use. And we want to know if this media use has had an effect on students' mental health. Are students constantly being left on red on Snapchat, or are they over-consuming the news and seeing everything going wrong in the world? We also want to know if media has had an effect on academic performance. Are students in class engaged, listening to the teacher, or are they playing on their cell phone? Are students preparing for the business research exam, or are they scrolling through TikToks? So,
All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the survey plan. Jackson basically just outlined like our goals for our survey. So it was computer administrated. Obviously, we made it through Qualtrics, and it was mainly administrated through our anonymous link. And we used a lot of ratio scaled questions, such as things based on GPA, screen time usage, and social media usage. And these sort of ratio scaled questions are really easy to get quantifiable results that we can use to understand averages on our respondents, as well as our semantic differential scaled questions. Some examples of these were the mental health rating in respondents, as well as the effects of screen time use. And then a little bit about the question flow. Obviously, we started with the easier questions, sort of like the demographics, like what's your GPA, and then we sort of went into the more media-related questions, and then saving those mental health questions that could cause some sort of like respondent anxieties for the end of the survey.
So for the variables, I'm going to talk about the independent, then dependent variable first. So for the two variables we have, independent variables we have screen time and media consumption. And with those two components, we're attaching like some sub variables to it. We have for media consumption, we have self-esteem ratings, stress levels, social media perception, and relative behaviors. For the screen time, we have the ability to interact with cell phones, computers, and television. For the dependent variable, we have a consistent numerous number of sub-variables. Like Shane mentioned, we have the GPA, course attendance, productivity, and overall health rating. And with that, we use the NMU students from the age of 18 to age 25. And that would just symbolize kind of like the change of academic performance through like the surveys of the active college students we have here.
Yep, so really quick, I'm gonna talk about the population of the sample. We kind of touched on it a little bit on what we're using, but I'm gonna go into more in-depth. Our population overall is just college students in general. We chose the ages 18 to 25 because that does fit the parameters for most traditional college students. And then including that, we're also including different grade levels, so freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, and then also graduate students as well. They fit within that, those parameters. The big thing is that we're using these ages and these grade levels because those are the main consumers of media. That age range probably consumes the most media out of anybody. It's presumed that way because of how often we use our cell phones, how often we use our laptops, things like that. And kind of as Noah was saying, that media is just kind of thrown in our faces. It really can be any kind of media. The big thing that we were focusing on was mobile devices, again, because as Noah had mentioned, 15, 20 years ago, that wasn't a thing. And nowadays, everyone has a cell phone. I'm sure everyone in this room has some kind of smartphone. So that's the thing. Our sample specifically, however, we're looking at not just every college student anywhere, we're looking at northern students specifically. It's close to home. We're aware of what's going on here. It's easy for us to kind of reach out to these different people. And then, of course, they fit our population because they are between the ages of 18 to 25 here. They have the same grade levels here because this is a university. And it is presumed that, again, we are all consuming different types of media. And so, again, that's kind of why we decided to use this as our population specifically. We could have gone out to different universities. It would have been harder to measure what's going on. Sometimes schools have different policies for things. And we wanted to stick to the 18 plus age range because if you go a little bit over that, things change dramatically. And if you go a little bit under that to teens, it also changes dramatically. And so instead of having such a wide variety of results, we decided to kind of close it into something a little bit more manageable. And so finally, I'm going to hand it over to Macy, and she's going to talk about everything else.
Alright, so to start with the sample plan, I am very sure that you guys all have Instagram accounts, Snapchat accounts, TikTok. So that was going to be our main method of distribution. Between 6 of us, we have about a 10,000 plus reach by distributing that. So by posting it on our Instagram stories, Snapchat stories, we're able to get a wide representation. We all have friends at Northern specifically, as Nick had mentioned, but we are all from different parts of the Midwest to bring out a different representation of that. As well, QR codes through high traffic areas, we plan to print them out, laminate them, place them on study tables in Jeremish Hall, possibly waiting areas by Starbucks while you're waiting for your coffee. Obviously, we know that takes a very long time and you will get bored. So if it is there, hopefully people will access that. And as well, the dining hall areas, such as Northern Lights, possibly there, and also just common traffic areas in general. And then going to personal interaction. So we're going to be doing a lot of tabling and asking the students directly to participate. We plan to have our QR code and walk around and ask if you would like to participate. We're hoping there'll be a lot of buzz from that. As the Super Bowl commercial has had a QR code, I feel like people are willing to engage in that and participate. And then for mass emails, we obviously publish it off Quadratics, and there are a couple of email lists we are choosing to pursue with that. And hopefully our reach is about 300 to 500. Hopefully we will get to 500. We've had a lot of interactions so far, and I feel like for our age group, this is a super common, easy survey to answer. It's very relatable. We all experience the same issues, and it happens in our daily life. So there are 7,500 students at NMU, so hopefully we can get a large portion of them to participate and get a good diversified results from people who are in the earlier stages of college to graduate students. Obviously we have a wide range in our own group too, and seeing how we spend and delegate our time with our studying, mental health, and just media usage in general. So from there, just kind of a little bit of a wrap up. In all, with this, we hope to identify issues that are causing, possibly causing decline in mental health or GPAs, and hopefully implement ways to direct that by screen time limiting and other matters. Also, if you are willing to and would like to, that's our QR code for our survey, so we can kick this off.
Very good.
Great. So pull out your phones if you choose to. And at this time, I'll open the floor for questions if you guys have any. Thank you for listening.